Hello everyone. I want to review this video that I uploaded to YouTube. This is the first video on my channel. And not only is the first video on this channel, this was also one of the first times I played live cash games. So this was still the time when I was studying and I was doing an internship in Germany, in Hamburg. And in my spare time, every Wednesday there was a cash game running in a casino, in the local casino in outside of Hamburg, and I used to go to play there some cash games. And it was an important point in my life. I was playing a little bit of online poker, a little bit of heads up sit and goes of 25 big blinds, but I had no experience in cash games. But when I saw the games in the casino, this was the point where I started to think about starting to play cash games professionally. And let's start the video. Let's see what's up in there.
What's up, guys and gals? How is it going?
Yeah, the first things I noticed, like how young I look in here. This is 2.5 years ago. Not that long ago, but it's just
So today it's
a
Wednesday,
very different look
which
from
means
today.
we have the 2-2 poker cash games at my local casino at 8 p.m. in the evening.
Yeah,
However,
the 2-2 cash game. So like there was this Schönefeld casino. It's a bit outside of Hamburg. And every Wednesday they had a 2-2 cash game running of Texas Hold'em. And every other day they had like 2-5 and some PLO action and some tournaments. I didn't play any of that. I only played the lowest stakes cash games because I just didn't have a big bankroll. The whole money I had at the time was mainly the money from my scholarship that I got for the internship. And I just cashed out that money and used it to start to play poker, which is the best idea I ever had. What can I say?
until
And,
that time, we still
we'll
need to
see
go
how
to
it
work
went
and
and,
some other stuff to do
in the
So,
casino.
Without further ado, let's
But,
jump into that.
I still had like a lot of work and
But at least we're
stuff to
heading home
do.
from
Like
work and
I used to go like to this internship every morning, ride my penny board. That's right. It's a laser lab.
I take back-
I worked in research as a research scientist, doing my bachelor thesis
words about the weather,
some laser
because
nerd
it is
shit.
fucking
and
raining again,
yeah, it
as
was
always,
a very interesting
but
time.
at least we're heading
very
home from
interesting
work
time. I
and
really
we can
enjoyed
go
it.
to play some poker. Okay, finally back home. So in an hour or so, we a little bit of backstory about
Yeah,
this
it's a little bit
casino.
of backstory
Half a
of
year
what,
ago, I was in Hamburg for an internship and I searched for a place to play poker, and this was the only place which worked in Hamburg. When I talked to the local players, they said this is the best place to play poker.
Yeah,
Very
it's
low
indeed one
rate.
of the best places to play poker, and I also Googled it on Reddit. It was also a little bit of a difficult time for poker because it was COVID times. So a lot of the casinos were actually closed, and in order to get some action, I had to do some Googling, call around the casinos, ask if they had some cash games running. I just really wanted to try this live poker stuff. I was trying to use like this opportunity when I was abroad, because in my hometown in Vilnius in Lithuania, there are no casino. I mean, there are casinos, but like no cash games are running there regularly. And I just really wanted to play some live poker in there.
It's 5% and €4 capped, so insanely low rake.
Yeah,
Very
it was
nice
some very
staff.
low
You
rake in
have,
that casino, I
windows
remember.
everywhere, high ceiling, so you can keep track of time. It's one of my favorite casinos. I mean, it's made in a shopping mall, so it
Yeah, that casino actually was quite fun because it had windows, believe it or not. As you know, casinos have never windows in their basement just to make you lose track of time. But they actually had windows that were like covered up, but they were not like fully covered up. You can still see some light coming down from the street.
mine's so
And
cheap, but
it was a little bit of
staff is
outside
super
Hamburg,
nice.
so
And here's
30
the
to 40 minute
casino
drive
logo.
from Hamburg, and you come to this Casino Schönefeld banner in there.
itself,
And
it's
it's
in the
actually
third
made in a shopping mall, so here you had to go to the third floor and actually
So let's go.
get inside the shopping mall, and then in the top you have the entrance to the casino. And,
So
of course,
this
this
casino
genius
itself,
as I
you
am, I
have
decided
masks
to start
everywhere,
filming
but
in the
it's still
casino
nice, there's
like
some
nothing's
action.
happening.
People are
Very
looking-
quickly, the pit boss came to me and said like, "Hey, bro, we don't do it here like that. Sorry, you cannot film here." And especially in Germany, they're very strict about their privacy laws. So I realized quickly that I will not be able to film any content on the table. So I just tried to write down every hand and take a few snippets of the casino just to get an idea of like
So
what's
the pit
happening
boss
inside.
was not very excited.
Yeah, I'm talking
when he
about the
saw
guy
me
here who
filming
came to
at a
me and said
casino.
like
I will
that
try to
take small snippets of
Yeah, taking small snippets out the chips in the casino, Shenefil, very nice chips, I remember.
in this session. Okay, we are heading out of
Yeah, the session was over. I came home the next day, and I wrote down
have some
all of these hands in my iCloud, and later on I just reviewed the hands. And these are not very spectacular hands. Keep in mind, this is the start of me playing cash games. I have no idea about the strategy.
We're
and
heading 4 ways to a flop of ace of clubs.
Yeah, I'm just trying to explain
King
the
of
hands in
clubs.
here, but we can see from this little snippet, like, what about what's happening in the action in here? And I'm opening Jack 10 under the gun suited, and I get free betted by the +1. And the low Jack cold calls, and the high Jack cold calls. So you can imagine what kind of good game I had in there. It's a pretty nice game that was running in that casino. And we complete here 4 ways. We get some ace-king flop. It checks through, and the hijack leads for like 60% pot or something. Of course, we have no flush draw, no nothing. We just fold in there.
And 7 of hearts. We check, and the hijack leads for about 60%. 4 queens, so the bet is big. We don't have a lot of equity. We just fold in the spot, and I think fold is all right in here.
Yeah, what a nice analysis. We don't have a lot of equity, so we just fold in here. The bet is big, and
Moving on
you
to the
cannot blame me.
next
It's
hand,
pretty
which
good
is
analysis.
the best hand known to man, pocket aces. We get the ace of hearts and the ace of clubs in the small blind.
Okay, this hand is really bad. I mean, the first things first. We have an open early position of 12, so it's a 2-2 cash game, so it's already a pretty big open, right? And then the cutoff calls, and I'm in the small blind, and I decide to squeeze with the aces, of course, but I make it insanely small. I make it 30. Like, this is just this is pretty bad, right? This is what fishes do, right? They squeeze or they free bet to like 2 small sizings, and this is exactly what I did. And keeping in mind the bigger like EP open, we could definitely just go here to like 45, 50, 55 euros, and get away with, depending on the stacks, and just get away with it. This is way too small. Way too small. We need to squeeze like way bigger. Of course, nobody folds. The EP
Early
calls,
position player opens to 12.
and the cutoff calls in here. We get some kind of king jack 9 flop. I
Jack of hearts
decided
and
to
9 of spades. We
bet
check
in
and
there.
everyone
No, I decided to
checks,
check in
and
there,
I'm not really
although
happy how I played this
betting
hand.
is definitely preferred. And
to draw his
yeah, and I tried to like explain some shit like with the Equilab.
Kings.
Guys, this is the only software I had. I didn't know shit about cash games. I had to figure my own stuff, so I just Googled up like some ranges for live cash, and I just used Equilab to get my own solutions. Like nowadays, we're the cool kids. We get to use all this cool fancy software. Use Explore or the bet trees, and see all the sizing, see all the EV for every combo. Change up different boards or whatever we just want to analyze. And all of these things, like I knew a thing about solvers back then, but I never really trained with a solver. The only solver I touched is a friend had like a solver for 25 big blinds, like spin and goes, and I used it to train myself for some heads ups, because this was the format I was playing online, some $10 heads ups just to make a couple hundred dollars a month. It was great for me part-time at the time, but cash game strategy was just 100 big blind strategy was just not in my arsenal at all.
Be here for
so yeah, some good old Equilab. The OGs remember using Equilab to figure out some shit.
Equity, which is
it's the most legendary free poker software available on Earth. Right now, it's like GTO Wizard took over the world, and nobody uses all this old school software. But it was, it's pretty good at the time. Make some sims and like put in some ranges, get in some equity.
Favorable for our hand.
Yeah, it's great software.
That's how it turned out. I'm not the middle position player.
Oh, we get some kind of hands. Oh yeah, this is how you can see how scared money I was at the time, because all the money I had was like from the scholarship. So I didn't have a lot of it, and I didn't really want to lose any of it. And I can open here like some pocket nines, and there's like some caller and some free bet, and we both call. And there's like a rainbow flop of 2, 8, 2, and the big blind jam for a pot, and I was last to act, and I folded, and the action there was like pretty loose and everything, and it just shows like how, I mean, this call is not printing, but but it just shows how risk averse I was at the time.
Calls, we call, and we're heading to a flop of trying to fix that stuff in my game review, but I still wanted to share with you. Middle position player folds. Yeah, I'm ashamed to admit, but I folded in this.
Yeah, I'm ashamed to admit, but I folded in there.
Which is a huge
that's exactly
steal, but I still wanted to share with
how
you
I
guys
should
to
feel
show
about
that,
it.
Even if our 6, the cutoff 3.
Some queens hands. I opened so many free bets. I 4-bet. Yeah, at least the sizing is bigger, so I guess it's a progress.
Best 22. We decide to put in a 4-bet of 60 and the cutoff calls. We're heading to a flop of 8 of clubs, 7 of diamonds, 3 of clubs. The
yeah, betting. I mean, it's on the bigger side, but I don't mind betting bigger
and we see
in live cat
60,
games. People
calls.
just overcall way too much.
A little bit bigger, but I think this is fine. The
go bigger, don't need to go bigger.
And the turn is the queen of diamonds. We turn a set with queens.
We turn a set and the cutoff just shoved to us. That's how good the games were. You just get a set of queens and the guy just puts all the money in for you. You don't even need to do anything. The cutoff said he had a flush draw, but yeah, he's just shoving some flush draws, doing some weird stuff. You know, it's a live game. During COVID times, you know, that those games didn't run like very often. They ran only in the evening, and there were like some tournaments in PLO, so not a lot of regs. I mean, there was like no regs present in there. Some people knew, you know, more about poker, some people knew less, but it was a very soft field.
But only to call.
Even I could make money there. Come on, you know, look at these hands. Like some of these hands were like terrible.
That's why.
But the field is still pretty bad, and
60 or 70.
That's exactly what kind of thoughts I had after playing live poker. After seeing how soft are the fields. When I graduated, you know, I was doing this online heads up, sit and go stuff for quite some time, and I thought I always wanted to live somewhere where it's warmer, and I actually took a shot and just, you know, trained the whole summer in Lithuania to play some online cash, and I just moved to Barcelona to play some cash games in the casino.
$70 pot. Although the ace gives us straight on this board, I think we have enough equity to justify calling this
betting
small
here.
Bet, so we just call it. And
I'll move my image around so you can see like people betting here with some 9-7 off
ace king from early
on the bluffing 9-7 off on the river. Some nonsense bluffs, you know, trying to just casual, you know, live players, not really thinking too much about a strategy, not thinking too much about the ranges.
We have 4 callers. Leads for 40.
Yeah, some ace king hand.
Check raise to 34.
I don't know what happened here. Oh yeah, like the turn got a king.
Moving on to the next hand. We get
middle position player like leads and I raise and they fold. I mean, it's a bit of a sketchy lines everywhere. You know, this is kind of a style I was playing. I didn't really know what I'm doing. You know, it was just I have a good hand. I'm gonna like, put some money in. It was you know, trying to apply the heads up skills I had to 100 big blinds cash, and it was just not doing it the right way, and lots of multi-way pots I was not prepared for at all.
Flop of King of Hearts, 6.
And I think this was the last hand. I was like, I got some ace 10 suited, some multi-way pots. That's a pretty wide range, so button, small blind, big blind, single raised pot, free way. We get King 6-4 flush draw, and I c-betted it 1/3. I don't think you should do it. Right, multi-way or your criteria for c-betting goes way up, so this is just a perfect flop to check and not worry too much about it. And even when I rivered an ace, we can see here that I still checked and didn't bet the river in position. You know, it's definitely just a clear value bet, and it just shows how scared money I was at the time. And
hearts and 4 of spades. We see bet 33%. We bet 10 into a 30 pot. I don't really like betting on this flop because we have no flush draw. The blinds have a really wide range. I think we are in a disadvantage on this flop. I put in some numbers into Equilab and
oh yeah, probably. I don't know if I put some numbers in Equilab, but it's some very wise words he's saying here.
So that we have 23.74% equity on this flop.
Oh yeah, I don't know what kind of ranges I put in there to get this equity, but I'm basically, you know, what I was saying 2.5 years ago is pretty wise, you know, off the table, of course, not in game. In game, I always make the mistake in there, but yeah, there's a lot of connectivity and multi-way. Like there's a bunch of crappy hands that they call with and they connect with the flop, and you just don't get that much fold equity, and that's why, you know, range betting here is not a very good option.
I would prefer not to bet this flop. Maybe play some delayed.
King 6-4. I wonder even if heads up we can range bet it. Let's check it out. Maybe it should be. I mean, my sims have a lot of range betting, but I'm pretty sure there should be some checking in there. Like on this flop in Fury, we bet like 70%. I would say it's like a king 6-4 flush draw. King 6-4. I don't have a flush draw board. Let's check the rainbow boards. Yeah, the rainbow board is a range bet. Maybe king 7-6 is. I have some king 7-6 flush draw. Yeah, it's also range bet. But I mean, keep in mind my sims have a lot of range betting, of forced like range betting that I'm training on right now. So yeah, but I mean, Fury wouldn't range bet 100% button big blind and multi-way even less than that. But yeah,
but we do
these were some hands I reviewed in the session.
With the king on the turn,
interesting hands in there.
We have some small pairs that would call this flop, some pocket pairs. So there's a bunch of hands to extract value from. And I think this is also a mistake of not betting the river. So these were the hands.
These are very wise analysis even I had 2.5 years ago of not betting the river and doing all this other bad stuff. You know, it was my first sessions of live cash games. You know, you're sitting at a table with like a bunch of money. For me, it was like crazy money at the time. I was like, fuck, this is so much money. I'm just like putting these chips in the pot, you know, like my hands are sweating, you know, or the action goes so fast. I'm like trying to count how much money there is in the pot. Like, you know, it was a new experience for me. So of course there was a lot of mistakes made, you know.
Hands of the night, of course, I mainly note down the hands that I thought I didn't play right for further study at home. A lot of places to improve, but
yeah,
I'm working on
it.
True, that's it for me today. Thank you very much for watching.
And that was the video. And I'm very proud of this guy here in this video. You know, like I was doing a lot of stuff at the time. Like I was working like full time. I was writing my thesis. I skipped like a few months of university. Because I prolonged my internship, so it was a lot of things going on, and I still had the energy to like go and play some poker. You know, released my first video on YouTube, trying to cultivate, you know, something, and it was a really nice time. And if only this guy knew how much he's gonna need to go through to discover this poker career thing, but he did something, and it's going pretty good. So I'm really happy for this guy.
Watching this video, I just wanted to share, you know, this part of the good hands, the bad hands. I just wanted you to see how
the bad hands.
As the journey of poker continues, we will improve dramatically. And
that's true.
Yeah, see you soon, guys. Ciao.
Definitely improve dramatically. That's true. So there it is, guys. It was just reviewing of my first video. It's very entertaining to watch myself 2.5 years ago to see what kind of thoughts I have, and you know, seeing what kind of place I was and what kind of place I am right now, and what has been, you know, what I went through to get to that place. So really appreciate these kind of videos, watching them back in time. And thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did, and I'll catch you up in the next video.